I am God. Let's talk about the news. So, you may have noticed today that some very strange things have been happening. So, yeah, perhaps you should take a look at what I was posting all night long. So last night, I was awake all night posting stuff to Facebook, right? Posting videos. I even made my own video explaining my connection to Gary Numan. You know, there's a song by Gary Numan which is called Dominion Day. Dominion Day is the name of the song. Yeah, you know what it has to do with? It has to do with, well, the fact is Gary Numan is Antichrist. You know what I mean? That's what he is. He's anti-Jesus Christ. Well, I'm good. Okay? Anyway, you can look into that if you want. But obviously there was this big blackout in Spain and Portugal, and France also got partly hit as well. So I am, in a way, I am the Spanish blackout, because when I was in Spain, it would have been a bit more than 10 years ago. It was when it was my mum's 50th birthday. So that would have been the 2014, it would have been, I think, 2014 in May, probably. So we went to a little city called Sitges. It's spelled Sitges, and it's a very homosexual place in Spain. Okay, it's very well, it's pretty much, it's mostly gay people. You know, when I went there, it didn't seem, you know, I was looking for a woman. I didn't really see any, you know, it was just guys everywhere, just guys and all over the place. And that's where my mum wanted to spend her 50th birthday. So that's where, you know, she organized a holiday to go there, and she invited lots of people in the family, people she was friends with. And we went there. Okay. My cousins were there. I think my aunt, yeah. So a lot of people there. And what happened was, I was very drunk one night. I was very unhappy. I was a real mess. And I went to look for a pro, as in, well, prostitute. And so it was the second time that I've done it in my life. There's only been 2 times where I've actually been like, okay then, prostitute time. Yeah, that's the second time I did it, and that's the last time I'll ever do it. So what happened, right? I was absolutely wasted. I was very angry. I mean, I'd fallen out with everybody. I was mad at my family, everybody. I was in a very bad state, and obviously I'll explain more of that. I'll explain what happened. So I was wandering around the streets of Sitges. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's witchcraft. That's what it is. I mean, what does it mean to sit? And what does it mean to jizz? Yeah? Now, why the fuck would my demon mother invite me to a place called Sit Jizz? Do you think? Because she's a demon who wants God's power. That's what she wants. She's trying to twist everything to hurt me. Because she's a bitch. And the last holiday I went on with her, well, I went to Thailand. Now it was a horrible holiday as well. That's when I was with two. I got with one woman called Nam, and I got with a prostitute there as well. I don't know what her name was. Anyway, so in Sitges in Spain, there was a black woman at a bar, and a guy, he said he would send me home with her. And that's what I did. I went back to her place, and obviously I paid money. And yeah, it wasn't a pleasant experience at all. It wasn't. I think she thought I smelled, which is true. I did. I'm not saying I don't still smell, but I definitely did then. And I was very drunk. And so she wasn't happy. She wasn't happy with me, and I was an absolute state. And I got out of there after something. I left, and that was it. And she was a big black woman. So you see, I was, when I was with her, I was black in, and then when I got out of her, I was black out, and I walked off. That's what happened. I'm Spanish blackout. Yeah. She was the last woman I was with, and that was 11 or 12 years ago or something. Well, I think it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Well, yeah, it's about 10 or 11 years ago. And so, the story about the first beast of the book of Revelation, the one with 7 heads and 10 horns. He has a wounded head, as if wounded by a sword or an S word. See, people have been talking so much shit about me. People are doing so much witchcraft against me. It's hurt me in so many ways, like the way I smell, the way I look. It's damaged me. It's hurt me. And sword is an S word, right? Smelly, yeah. And it can mean all kinds of stuff. But the fact is when I was there in Sitges, oh yeah, let's not forget that one, huh? When I was there, well, that's the thing, right? Because you see, the story about the book of the first beast in the book of Revelation. Well, there's the prostitute, the great prostitute, the great whore. She rides the scarlet beast. Well, that's the thing. I'm God. I let the world do what I let it do. Yeah. And I am scarred. So therefore I am scarlet beast. And I was being ridden, but the only reason I ever got with any prostitutes was because no person in this world loves me. And people hate me. They use me and abuse me. Every relationship I ever had, I always got into a relationship with loving intentions. Every girlfriend I ever had. I wanted to make her happy. I wanted her to love me. And all I got was shit in return. Garbage, crap, abuse, hate, lies, cheating, backstabbed. and I'm a very hurt man. I was a lot hurt. I was even more hurt back then. I mean, years ago, I didn't really want to live. You have to understand, like, I didn't really want to be alive. That's how bad I was. I was desperate, so horribly desperate for a reason to feel a bit of happiness in my life, while everyone was having a dig at me and trying to put me down and bury me in a fucking hole in the ground. Evil, shit-headed world. So what's happened in Spain? Well, yeah, there's a lot of things I can say about this. There's so many things I can say about this. I mean, look at the name Spain, right? You see, in terms of magic, you see, words are magic, and Spain can mean ass pain, right? Because well, A means singular, right? So you have a singular S, the letter S, yeah, that's A-S or A-S, yeah, because it's a singular S, as pain, right? Okay, and then you have Portugal. Well, a port is a hole. Yeah, a port is a connection point. Yeah, port. And gal, well, you know what a gal is, yeah? Girl? Port girl. Yeah? Hole girl. Yeah? I worked with a guy called Travis Staplecamp. He was a network engineer. I worked with him in Brighton. He left that job. I used to sit next to him, right? We used to work on the same we used to do networking, computer network stuff together, right? We were both on third line. He was a band higher than me, right? So I was a band 5, and he was a band 6. And he went to Spain. I think he went to, I'm not sure where in Spain. I think he went to Spain. I think it would have been Barcelona originally, but anyway, he is a satellite engineer. He works for an IT company that deals with satellite connections to big yachts, like very, rich people who've got nice yachts, and they want their internet, and they want their, want to stream everything. They want to connect everything to their yacht while they're out on the sea or whatever, right? Yeah. So, so yeah. So, and that's the thing. I worked with him, okay, and he wants to play this game of that. He wants to pretend that he's God, yeah. And there are others. The whole world is pretty much doing this, but the ones who were closest to me have more power. You see, proximity makes a huge difference. See, if you hang out with me, yeah, you know what it means to hang, right? Like hang on a cross or hang out with somebody, right? The power of words, it makes a difference, you see. Proximity makes a difference, and demons use those who get close to me to attack me. My ex-girlfriend, I'm not talking about the the prostitute, I'm talking about Ania Bilak, who's a Polish girl, Polish woman. After I separated from her, which would have been, I don't know, 2012, 2013, something like that, when I was about 24. Yeah, 24. It was just before I turned 25 and went to Thailand. Yeah. But Anya, she was, I get the impression that she got with my people that I used to be friends with. And there was a black guy called Colson Jackson. See, it's a real, what does a lump of coal look like? Yeah. You see, sun it can mean happiness, right? So if you see a lump of coal and it makes you happy, right? And then you jacks and you're happy, right? What the hell does that mean? What does that mean? Well, you see, you remember what Jesus said, well, in the book of Revelation, right? The crucifix, it has, it's connected with Sodom and Egypt. So, sodomy and bondage. Well, I've spelled out for you already, right? So what does Cole, son, Jack, son mean? What does it really mean? I mean, obviously it was a guy's name, but what does it really mean? What do demons use that as? What are they trying to say? When everyone wants to do sodomy. Yeah, what does a piece of coal look like? Tell me. What does it look like? So, Spain, well, what did it say? It said, that's the thing. See, when I separated from Anya Bilak, that's when the UK left the European Union, right? That's when everyone decided they want to leave the European Union. That's because they're treating the relationship I had with my ex-girlfriend, Anya Bolak, they're treating it as if that was the European Union. And so you got all these people who want to leave the European Union because I left my ex-girlfriend who was from Poland. That's how evil and disgusting people are. This is how, well, it has to do with my power, you see. But the fact is that people want to acknowledge that I'm God, and they're doing all this crazy shit to pretend they're me when they're not. So when you see what's happening in Europe and all around the world, right, all this terrible stuff that's happening, it's me. It's because we're having a massive witchcraft battle here, okay? You people won't stop. I want you to stop. I will make you stop. I want what I want. I'm God. I get what I want. I get justice. And how I get that justice, well, it depends kind of on you a little bit because hang on. Hang on a second. Just got my shopping. I'm a little out of breath. Seems like I've got a few items missing. Coffee and donuts. I was really looking forward to those. Anyways, hang on. Okay, so got my mango loco. Hang on. Oh. So, sorry for that interruption, but yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is that the world is trying to kill me and destroy me and abuse me of all kinds of witchcraft and magic. My mom's dead, yeah, died of cancer, yeah, rectal, anal cancer. Do you know what happened when I was in Sitges, yeah, with her and her girlfriend, Priscilla Heffernan? I remember one day we were out, I was lying out in the sun, right, and her girlfriend was in a bikini, and she climbed on top of me as she was like straddling me, or whatever, you know what I mean, like sitting on my crotch area, and she would kiss me on the lips. It's the same woman she gave my mum HPV, and that turned into rectal cancer. She's dead now. Yeah, that's the same woman. That's the thing. My family, obviously, I'm not hating anybody for having. It was her behavior that was the problem. Yeah, it was everyone's behavior. Acting like animals. God-hating animals. Yeah, I prefer animals, to be honest. I prefer, I think humans, most humans, I think, are lower than animals, to be quite honest. Well, some animals. Seriously. I mean, anyway, I just hate, I'm sick of people. What's happening in Spain is deserved. Absolutely. And a lot worse is deserved. You see, the reason these things are happening is to get you to listen to me. I want you to listen to me. I want you to know who I am. But you are having difficulties with that, aren't you? Yeah. That would seem to be the case. See, the thing is that if you've been following what I've been posting on Facebook, you see I post a lot of Limp Bizkit videos and stuff. And you see, Limp Bizkit is me, right? That's who I am God. I have come back for my bride. Yet she doesn't want me. She doesn't want me. I am Limp Bizkit. And I'm angry, and I'm mad, and I'm hated by a world that doesn't care about God, doesn't care about me. Now, the other thing is, well, this is the thing. We're talking about black out. Well, technically, I'm day out. Except I never get to go out and have a day out, really. I mean, I don't want to be surrounded by people that I don't want to be around. That's why I never go out during the day. But all these people always want to go out for day outs and day outs and day outs. And I stay in a darkly lit room. If only just enough light so I can see. Yeah, just enough light so you can see me on this video, right? This is how I live. When I go outside, it hurts my eyes now because I'm so used to dark light. Or I'm so used to low, dimmed light. Anyway, I'm day out. Which means the sun shines out of my ass. Because you see, this was my past. Or not this in particular, but this actual thing. But I was Jesus Christ. I was the sun. The day shineth out of my anus. But you see, witches and demons would like you to think there is no sun shining from there. They want you to think it's a blackout. You see? I know how crazy that sounds to you, but that's the truth. That is the power of words, and that's how it affects my life. And man, that's how crazy things are for me. That's how bad it is. I have to deal with so much stuff. All I see is a world constantly trying to curse me. If you're not loving me, you're cursing me. That's how it is. So all this stuff that's happening in Spain, I'm looking at an article here on the Daily Mail. Spain enters the dark age. Do you know what's really interesting, right? Because in Vancouver, in Canada, about 22 hours ago, it was something like that. It was about almost a day ago. It's probably a day ago now, 24 hours ago, almost. But there was a car that crashed into a bunch of people, and it killed about, 11 people or something. And I only heard a news clip. I couldn't tell you that much about the story, but I heard the guy saying, yeah, it's probably, he called it the darkest day in that place's history, in Vancouver's history, or in that village, that area in Vancouver where they were calling it the darkest day for where they live. Isn't that interesting? Just before you see what happens in Spain, yeah, the massive blackouts, Portugal, France, yeah, it's not a coincidence. It's happening because demons are fighting me. See, I have family who wanted to move to Vancouver. They have friends in Vancouver, in Canada, and they still talk to people over there. My cousin, Philip, he spent a few years living in Vancouver, in Canada, working there. But then he came back to England. Well, he lives in Wales now. So I have my connections to Vancouver through them. Canada. Anyway, I'm God. I'm connected to everyone and every. Do you know what I mean? Well, if you know what I'm saying, like, I'm God. There's no one on this planet who can escape me. Or off this planet. I'm here because I want justice. I want to feel good. I want to be happy. But the world won't let it happen. Because the world, it wants to keep putting stumbling blocks in front of me, behind me, all around me. It doesn't matter which way I turn, it's fall over, fall over, fall over, fall over, oh, fall over again, fall over again. I mean, imagine if your parents, when you were grown up, when you were, say, 5 years old, they said, well, you don't need arms, you don't need legs, you don't need a tongue. Yeah, we'll cut those off. And then say it's your fault and blame you for all your problems and say, well, why don't you take care of yourself? Why can't you, be responsible for yourself? Blah, 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 blah. See, the same people who are accused, this is the thing, demons, the world, it wants to accuse me while it hurts me and causes me all my problems. It wants to cause all the problems for me. It wants to pull the rug from underneath my feet. And then tell me I'm a loser because I fell on the ground. And say, why are you so stupid? What's wrong with you? Like, they want to attack me from both angles. They want to attack me from every side. So that's what the news is all about, by the way. Me. And how I am very angry at the world. A world that is constantly running away from me. Yeah. It wants nothing to do with me. Why would that be? Because the world is full of sinners. And they don't like the idea of God judging them for all the wrongs that they've done. They don't like that. So they run away from me. They hate me. They curse me. They abuse me. They talk shit about me. And I have to sit here and explain all this stuff to you and sound like I'm a maniac. Talking about coal and happiness and Jacksons and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yup. I also knew one other person who lived in Spain. I don't know if she lives there anymore. I think she probably does. But when I was 16 years old, I had a girlfriend called Europa, a Polish Jew. Or at least that's what they call themselves, right? Jews. They call themselves Jews, but are they really? So she came from a so-called Polish Jewish family, okay? Europa. And her sister, called Isabel, whose nickname was Bibs, she moved to Spain. Now, she's probably, she's much older than me. She'll be in her 50s now. She's probably about 50 years old now. I'm 37. Did I mention that Europa was 16 years older than me? She was. She's about 15 or 16 years older than me. Well, she is. But when I was 16, she was 32. That's how I remember. She was twice my age. And that's the thing, right? Because when I went to Spain on holiday for my mum's 50th birthday, I had other family. My mum's uncle and his wife, so Frank Goddard and Isabel Goddard. See how there's a problem with words? Yeah? There are people in my family called the Goddards, yeah? The Reeds, and the Neils. So Goddard, Reed, and Neil. Those are 3 surnames that are in my family. My surname is Salvin. You may notice it's very similar to the word salvation. Salvin, S-A-L-V-I-N, is in the word salvation. And obviously you know what eye salve is, stick something in your, it's something, eye salve is something that was stuck in the eyes of the, stuck in the eyes of the blind, yeah? That's what Jesus did, right? He spat in the mud, made some eye salve, put it in the guy's eyes. So he can go wash his eyes in the pool, and then he could see. I've explained that so many times. So what else can I say about the news? Did I mention, so when I paused the video, I got shopping from Just Eat. Yeah, I didn't mention that, did I? Anyway, whatever. Sorry, I'm all over the place, aren't I? I'm all over the place, all around the world. Not really, but I'm here. Babel. Babel is used to attack me. But at the same time, I will destroy. I win. I win. I am the Word. I'm God. My power is connected with words. I gave man the ability to speak and write, not the other way around. It's not that he didn't give me the ability to speak and talk and write and read. Yeah. Obviously I grew up as a little boy. Yeah, but I'm still God. I'm the originator. I'm the one where it all came from. A man wants to create new languages. He wants to change the code so he can try to beat me through magic, through word magic. Always trying to build a ladder to heaven. That's what man likes to do. All I'm doing, I'm here. I want to be acknowledged. I want people to understand I'm God. And give me what I want, what I deserve. The world's getting what it deserves. Yeah. Take a look around. Yeah, take a look around. Things are looking incredibly bad. And you know what? You see, I understand how sex magic works. I understand how word magic works. Now, the fact that we've seen an enormous blackout happening in Spain, you see, Spain has a very particular, well, the word Spain, you see, it makes me think that more blackouts are coming, and it's going to be hitting a lot more countries. You see, Spain is the first one. This is where it starts. So, anyways, I mean, the word blackout. I mean, you know, how I used to, when I was younger, I used to do drugs. I used to drink a lot. I used to do drugs. And guess what? What does it mean to black out? Well, there are plenty of times where I lost consciousness, or I didn't have any memory of what happened. You know, people would call that blacking out. And not to mention, well, I had black friends as well, you know. So every time they came into my home and then they went back out again, what the hell does that mean? Blackout. You know what I'm saying? You see, demons will use any excuse to hide my light. They want to hide my light all the time. I'm God, and obviously I've allowed people to do that. I've allowed people to go about and do their things the way they want to do things, right? They can choose to hate me, or they can choose, they're either hating me or they're loving me. It's one or the other. And ultimately, I win. Either way. If everyone on planet Earth hates me, I still win. If everyone was trying to curse me and steal from me, and I still win. I always win. But the fact is, I want people to understand who I am, so, things could be a little bit better. Yeah? I mean, what's happening in Spain? I mean, look, it's crazy. Panic buying. What does Hispanic mean? What does Hispanic mean? Any idea? Panic buying. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing, isn't it? Because the Spanish name for Spain is España. But what was my ex-girlfriend's name? Ania. Ania. España. You see, I used to call her Anya. It's actually Ania. It's Ania, not Anya. But anyway, I called her Anya. I guess back then I didn't pronounce it properly, but whatever. Gotta help the wind turbines. Know what I'm saying? Excuse me. So, Spain, panic buying, and they can't get money out of machines. You've got people saying they haven't got any water. The water's not coming, they're not getting any water through the pipes or anything like that. People stuck in lifts, people stuck in tube trains under the ground, metro trains or whatever they are, underground subway trains. People stuck in all kinds of places, in dark places. Yeah, no traffic lights working. I mean, how bad, that's the thing, right? People are out of water. It's an emergency situation. People are having all kinds of problems. And then you got to have the hospitals running on backup power, because you got to, a lot. That's the thing. Hospitals. If you don't have electricity to a hospital, that's a lot. A lot of people could die. In fact, a lot of people will die because, you're gonna have people who are on life support. Well, the life support machine's gonna switch off and they're gonna die. all the things like, blood tests, all kinds of stuff that they need electricity to do. There's a lot of things that doctors could, hospitals can't function properly without electricity. They can't function properly without computers. It just becomes total mayhem. I know, because I used to work at a hospital in IT. I know how bad it is when, they don't have any, they need to be able to access patient records. They need to, do blood tests, all kinds of stuff, right? There are all kinds of systems in place that all need electricity to work. So if you stop the electricity, well, some hospitals, they'll have backup generators, and that will provide power for a certain amount of time. But once that power runs out, well, I suppose the backup generators, I think they run on diesel, don't they? I think a lot of them, they run on fuel, so they need, they'll have, that's the thing, they'll be able to provide more fuel to it probably if they can get it. But ultimately, if losing electricity is a very scary thing. I mean, the thing is, this is the thing, because I'm doing this, it's a magic battle, right? There's a magic war happening. It's a spiritual war, really, is what it is. I'm God, and the world wants my power, right? So what happened in Spain? Oh, that's right, they lost power. Right, so they lost power, and they're trying to get that power back again, aren't they? Now, you see what the problem is here. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see, if the world will not acknowledge that I'm God, if the world can't acknowledge that I'm God, then they're not willingly giving me my power. Yeah. So if people acknowledge that I'm God, that empowers me more. Because more people know I'm God, and more people know I'm to be. I have to be respected, right? But the fact is that if people won't do that, then now it becomes, you will see power blackouts. You will see things like that happen. I know because I've seen, often there have been times when I'm doing magic, okay, or I'm doing what I have to do. It's who I am. I'm being God is what I'm doing, right? I'm just talking about posting stuff on Facebook. That's what I do. I don't have to use candles or anything. I don't do stuff I don't need to do. I don't read out spells or anything like that in particular. You know what I mean? To anyone else, they would just see me as, they really wouldn't notice anything. But the fact is I've seen, I know when I've seen power outages many times. I've caused them many times. It's when something, when I've done something very powerful, when I've achieved, I've broken a curse, and then the power goes, and then it comes back, like that, yeah. I'm very aware of my power. It's an amazing thing for me to witness. It's for me to witness my own power. It's the thing that keeps me going. It really is. Otherwise, I don't know where I'd be. To be quite honest, I mean, life's been I've lived such a hellish life that do this all day, every day. I have to. All I want is for people to love me and respect me and understand who I am. You know, I've got people want to steal, I've got people who want to park in front of my driveway. Yeah. They want to lurk in my shadow. Why would they want to do that, do you think? Why are they trying to block access to my driveway where my expensive car sits, covered in spider webs? Yeah. Dust. I have a very expensive, filthy looking car. And neighbors who want to block access to my driveway. Why? They want to be in my shadow. They want my power. It's magic. Cars are magic items. Yeah, they are. They're used in magic. People always trying to get in my way. Always trying to encroach on my space. Yeah, space pirate. A space pirate. What the fuck's a space pirate then? Yeah, what's that? Someone trying to steal something, huh? I'm disrespected everywhere I look. Everywhere I look, I see people disrespecting me. They're waiting to ruin my life. That's all they want to do. Take what's mine. And I mean, there are some exceptions. Okay? Those I love, and those who love me. They are the exception. They may not know me personally. They may not watch my videos, but, spiritually, what they are, who they are, it tells me that they love me, and I know that. Because they get me. They understand who I am. But most of the world doesn't get that. So, isn't it interesting, on the same day all this crazy stuff's happening? Oh look, Meghan Markle breaks down in tears and appears to make thinly veiled dig at the royal family in podcast with billionaire friend. Okay, so who's the royal family? Oh, you think it's King Charles? Oh, you think it's Prince Harry? Oh, you think it's Prince William? Who's the real royal family then? I'm God. So who's the royal family then? Who's she really having a dig at, do you think? On this very strange day. It's very out of the blue, isn't it? It's not every day you see her crying on a podcast, is it? Oh, but today is the exception, is it? Out of nowhere. Yeah. Strange that, isn't it? Excuse me. So, if you're watching me and you're listening to me, I understand, I know what I talk about. It's hard to understand. I mean, it's hard for me to explain it. It really is. I mean, when I discovered it, I was, I learned this because all this stuff is actually happening to me. That's how I figured it out. I never would have figured it out. I figured it out because I could see how it was affecting me and how the world was reacting to me. I could see all the weird words and the names and the places and the events. And I could see how it's a world that wants to reflect me in any way that it can. See, the world is full of evil people. The world is evil, okay? And all it wants to do is reflect my light. It's trying to tell everybody that I'm not the light and that they're the light, while they use mirrors to try and steal my light. And demons deny me. The world denies me. And I've been saying this for years. You keep denying me, you will be destroyed. You will lose everything. What you're seeing in Spain is the kind of thing you can expect. Or even worse. I mean, that's just, this is all kinds of things. War, yeah. Poverty, nothing to eat, nothing to drink. Yeah, not able to drive to work because you can't get petrol or whatever, right? At the end of the day, see, the world wants to make me dead. And the world keeps pushing me towards death. Basically, that's what the world wants to do. It wants to keep pushing me into a grave, basically. That means you will be pushed into a grave. So the only way to stop that happening is to acknowledge who I am. So we can stop people trying to push me into a grave. You understand? This is the test. This is what the test is. I'm here. I'm very unhappy. I feel like I've been cheated and abused by the world, okay? I wouldn't be the only one. There are lots of guys who are similar to me. They've suffered they've been treated cruelly by a very cruel world. And they get me. They understand me. They know what it's like to be me. They really know what it's like to be me. They wouldn't wish bad on me. I'm God. Where is my bride? She wants nothing to do with me. So, you understand that's what's supposed to happen. God comes back, he wants his bride. Right? He's coming back for his bride. Yeah, where are they? You know the parable of the 10 virgins? Yeah? The 5 virgins who didn't make it and the 5 virgins who did. Yeah? This is what's happening. This is the situation. The world doesn't want me to have my brain. The world wants that, not that, doesn't want that to happen. The demons don't want that to happen. And probably you don't want that to happen. You think I'm a desperate loser who will say anything to get what he wants. Probably. And I'm trying to open your eyes. I want you to see what it is that I've done. Like who I am. Look at my power. You don't think I'm powerful. You don't think I can destroy this world. You don't think I could, when stuff happens like the earthquake in Turkey, 50,000 people died. Or the earthquake that happened recently in Myanmar, in Thailand. Yeah? Or the tsunami that happened in 2011 in Japan. Or 9/11. Or the Iraq War. Or Afghanistan. Or Ukraine, Russia. What's happening in China. What's happening in all around the world. It's all connected to me. If you don't think I'm dangerous, if you really can't see how I'm connected with these things, I demonstrate it, I do it. If you look at Facebook, why do you think I've posted things? Why do you think I've got 20,000, near enough, something around 20,000 posts on Facebook? Why do you think I've done that? Can you see how my posts are connected to what happens in the world? If you actually listen to what I say, if you ever listen to what I said, then you would have, your eyes would open. You would hear what I'm saying. But the fact is, most people can't be bothered to understand me. They don't want to. They don't have the. They don't have the will to understand me. They don't want to know. They just see me as a problem. You know what's really interesting? I saw yesterday there was an article on the Daily Mail, and it was about the headline was Migrant Hotel Nightmare. My Grant, so that's, my name is Grant, yeah? So, My Grant Hotel Nightmare. What's the thing? I live in Weston-super-Mare. And a lot of the time, I stay up late into the night. In fact, I usually stay awake all night. I'm quite a nocturnal person. Quite a lot of the time. Not all the time, but probably about half the time. Yeah. And, there are all these people complaining about, they can't sell their houses and, because of all these migrants and hotels and everyone's unhappy and blah, 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 blah. Well, it's quite similar to what's going around in the area that I live because, people are arguing about parking spaces and, it's causing people not, gardening's not getting done when it should be getting done, or, there's rubbish and people doing all, there's there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of tension. I don't want the tension. I don't want it. But the fact is, I'm God. What am I supposed to do? Cave in and be like, okay, then I'll just cave in then while you people walk all over me. Is that what I'm supposed to do, do you think? No. I can't do that. I'll do what I want to do. I make my decisions. You don't make my decisions. People don't want to listen to me. People waste my time. And I'm very unhappy about my time being wasted. Very unhappy. And it's hurt me. I'm hurt. When I go to wash the dishes, I get a sore back. When I go cook my dinner, I get a sore back. Sitting in this chair for such a long time, it's given me a sore back. My body, I haven't gone for a long walk in a long time. I haven't had any decent exercise in a very long time because I'm always sat in this chair, this seat, trying to tell you who I am. You don't want to listen, and then I have to do magic. I have to do my magic Facebook posting to break your curses. And then I try to break your curses, and then when I do, and terrible shit happens, or, all these things happen, right? Yeah, wars, or blackouts, or scandals, or whatever it is, right? Earthquakes. And then I say, guess what? I make a video like this one, and I tell you, and you still won't listen. You still won't stop your sorcery. Yeah, you still won't. You still won't stop hate. You won't stop hating me. You can't. You have a one-way ticket to hell, to the lake of fire. That's basically what you have. Yeah, that's what you want. That's what you've chosen, right? That's the path you're going down. I mean, ultimately, well, I'm God, It said that I choose your path. Well, I suppose I kind of do. I'm here. I'm trying to tell you who I am. I'm choosing for you to change your path, right? I want you to change your path, but you either will or you won't, right? One or the other. Right? At the end of the day, it's all my power. It's all in my power. I win. My power is beyond yours. I will not be mocked. The world is a thief. Or it would like to be a thief. You see, I'm the real thief, you see. That's the thing, right? I'm God. I created the world. I created everybody. I've blessed people with, all kinds of things, and look all the nice things you built and all that kind of stuff, all the money and jewelry and your buildings and houses and nice cars, and I suppose I get to steal that from you. I get to say, I'll have that, thank you very much. I'll take it. I'll take everything I want to take. I'm good. If I want to be a thief, I'll be a thief. I get to point at someone and say, I don't like you, and I don't like all that stuff you have. I want that. I'll take that, thank you very much. Or I'll give it to someone I want to have it. Yeah? Guess you would call that being a thief. Well, I'm God. At the end of the day, I create it all anyway. Just depends how you want to look at it. Right? Man wants to create artificial intelligence, right? And then use artificial intelligence to make all kinds of crap. Yeah? I mean, who made the artificial intelligence then? Is it man? Or did the computer make itself? Yeah, and then who created man? Yeah, who created the universe? Me. God. It's all about perspective, isn't it? Yeah. You either identify with my spirit. You either, how do I put it? I mean, obviously you can hear my words coming through your device, your computer or phone or whatever, or tablet. But do you really hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? If you understand me, that's good. That's what I want. That's what makes that would make me happy. I mean, this is the thing, you know, people think this. I've been doing this for years, right? I've been trying to tell people this for years, and I don't have anyone who has acknowledged that I'm God to me. I've not heard anyone acknowledge to me that I'm God, and I'm still going. People seem to think that I'm just going to stop or something. I'm not. I will not. That won't change. That can't change because I know who I am. And because I know who I am, it can't change now. Okay, I can't go back from once I know the truth now. There's no way I can go away from that. If I was to go away from it, I'd be lying. I would be lying, and I would be well aware that I was lying. I can't get away from this. The truth is the truth at the end of the day. I've told you what it is. You either accept it or you don't. If you don't, I already told you what happens. And you can see it in the news every fucking day of your life that you have left. Yeah, switch on the news, see what it says. Yeah, know your fate. Know your destiny. Yeah? Death and destruction. The only way out of it is with me. But you have to elevate me first. You have to put me on that pedestal. You have to put me as number one. Yeah, not your bitch girlfriend or whatever it is, right? Or whatever it is, yeah? You have to put me first. I come before everybody else. That's how it's supposed to be. You can't have me, you know, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th, or last. That doesn't work. I'm God. I'm the creator. I'm the one who created you. I created man. I created woman. I created the universe. I created all the animals and all the beasts. I created all the things that you love, and I created all the things that you hate. Except me. I mean, I'm me, right? I'm here. I suppose I created this body. Yeah. And my spirit, who I am. I'm eternal. Okay? I mean, it still boggles my mind. I mean, I wonder about it, and I think, well, you know, I'll figure it out as I go along. Like, how does that all work? It's fascinating. I mean, I could sit and think about it for days on without, you know, my life is so mind-boggling. It really is. But to other people, most people just find it boring. Oh wow, look at this boring loser talking a bunch of nonsense. What the hell is he talking about? What a crazy guy. You know, let's block his parking space. Yeah, let's do that. Or, you know, let's leave some trash in his front garden to piss him off. Or, you know, let's kill his plants in his front garden. Or look at that stool on his doorstep. Or we'll nick that just to piss him off. Or look at his recycling boxes. Or let's trash it or smash it to pieces or steal it or something. Or, you know, let's create all kinds of... Let's just annoy the shit out of him. Well, that's what people do. That's what the world does to me. Every time I look at the news, I see a world doing that to me. It's the same everywhere. Everywhere I look, it's pretty much everywhere. That's how people are treating me. It's almost everywhere. Almost everybody. And I don't. You see, people are trying to hurt me. See, this is the thing, right? There are all these people in the world that want to push me into an early grave, right? They want to kill me. But as I'm getting closer and closer to that coffin or that grave, right? They're getting hurt. Those who are pushing me into that grave, they're the ones whose lives are falling apart. And I'm telling them, don't push me in that grave. Don't push me in that grave. You're only going to kill yourself. Yeah. I mean, think about it, Jesus died on the cross to give life in abundance. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going to happen this time around, but, what if I die and when I die, everyone dies? Everything gets destroyed. It'll be like Earth never existed. Gone. Just like that. Maybe that's what will happen. I don't know. I'm not afraid of dying. I mean, I don't like the idea of pain, but really. But if I die, well, I hope it's a quick death. But ultimately, I have to do what I have to do. I have to face what I have to face. I can't do anything else. This situation was created a long time ago. I mean, the steps that led here were built a long time ago. And there's a path that I'm meant to follow, that I'm meant to go on. And, well, ultimately, it's hard to explain, but because of the scriptures and what's written in the Old Testament and the New Testament, that has created a path, in a sense. But ultimately, I'm the destination at the same time. So this is the thing, for everyone else in the world, but I'm the destination you're meant to get to. I'm at the center of it, basically. It's complicated, but hey, you know what a mega church is? Yeah, I'm just looking at Meghan Markle crying her eyes out. Yeah, what's a mega church? You ever heard of a mega church before? No? What's with the words, huh? What is with the words? I've tried to give you so many examples. If you've watched my videos, you should know 100 of them by now. Right, you should know hundreds of them. I give so many examples, whatever rolls off my tongue on any given video. Get a notepad, write them down. Yeah, try to figure out the puzzle for yourself. I know I'm at the center of it all. I'm good. All I have to do is switch the news on every fucking day, and I can see it. I mean, I'll give you the example. In my last video, I said, I am Gary Newman. What's his name? My old boss, when I used to work in IT. My boss's name, he was called Gary. And his boss was called Ian. Well, actually, my boss's name's changed. You know what I mean? I've had lots of different bosses, haven't I? But they're not the boss of me. I just happened to work for them, and that was before I found out who I am. I found out I'm God. I worked as a van driver in my last job because I didn't want to go back and work in an office again with a bunch of people I hated. And then I ended up in here because my mum dropped dead. And so that meant I got money and I got a house. And I don't have to go to work anymore. Although I spend all my time, apart from when I'm asleep, I am doing stuff. I gotta fight a world that hates me. I gotta do all these things. I gotta make these videos. You know, I have so much money. I mean, I could be partying. I could be in Ibiza. I could be in the Maldives. I could be in all kinds of, I'd be touring the United States of America if I wanted to. Do you know what I mean? I could be in Canada. I could be in South America, eating nachos and drinking tequila, lying on a beach, wearing a sombrero hat, whatever, right? I could be doing all kinds of stuff. Living the party lifestyle, The fact is, I live in a country where people, the British, they're very stuck up, pretentious. Yeah, a lot of women wouldn't give me a second look. If I went to another country, there are plenty of other women who probably would give me a second look. They'd be like, oh, seems like a nice guy, friendly, wants to have a laugh. And he's British, he's got money, he lives in a nice country. Yeah, there are women who, in other countries, they'll throw themselves at me. Actually, I mean, I've seen it before. Yeah. I actually remember when I was in Amsterdam, I found the women there were very friendly towards me, unusually friendly towards me. And I read somewhere, it said that women tend to in the Netherlands, the women treat men like brothers. They're more like that, which is interesting. Yeah. Apparently, that's just what they're like over there. So, but in a country like this, I feel very excluded by people. You see, women and men, they maybe they don't like the look of me or the sound of me, and they push me away, push away. That's what people are like. Very hard to break into a group of people and be like, I mean, that's the thing. It's very hard to make new friends. And the fact is, I'm God, which makes it even harder. Yeah. Because now I can't really have a friend without telling them who I am. Say, oh, what's your name? Well, I'm God. I can't go about it any other way, really. I mean, obviously I interact with people. For buying food or cigarettes or whatever it is, or a delivery person. But to actually enter into a relationship or a friendship with somebody, well, I'm going to have to tell them. I'm going to have to be like, well, I'm God. And they're going to say, most people are going to be like, no, you're not. And I'm like, well, yeah, I am. We're going nowhere. Because if they don't acknowledge that I'm God, they're a curse to me. That's what they are, a curse. Evil. I can't do anything with them. they'll only bring me problems. And so I should be run the other way. Or if I hang around them, they'll try to create all kinds of problems for me. Because they're a demon that wants my power. So, I will keep making videos and I will keep explaining how dangerous I am. I will keep talking about all these things that are happening. You see, a lot of people like to believe that, oh, things will get better, or, you know, you just need some guy in a suit and he'll fix everything. You know, people, you know, let's go back to the pub, let's go round to our mate's house, let's go for a drive, let's go for a party, or, you know, let's go have some sex, do some drugs, everything will be okay, who cares? Yeah, it won't go that way. I will not stop. Things in this world will get worse. And I can tell you, I already did a video about the economy, the global economy. You know, looking at, I showed a video of the charts of the US stock indices. So the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, the FTSE 100, the UK, obviously, FTSE 100, gold, silver, Bitcoin, and stuff like that. You know, I explained my thoughts, and obviously I have a history with trading, okay? I did it for years. I studied it daily for years. And the fact is, I'm God. I can see the pattern. I can see what is happening before it happens. Okay? Or I have a very good idea of where this is going. And the fact is, I'm God. It makes perfect sense that I'm destroying a world that doesn't love me. You know, poverty. Yeah, people losing their houses. People's lives falling apart, losing their jobs, not able to pay bills, living in a tent, or living in a cardboard box. Yeah, I know it's going that way. A lot of people are going down that road. And that's how it has to be. Because that's the thing. If you do not love me, you will be destroyed in that way. Yeah, or in a similar way. You know, your life will fall apart bit by bit, by bit, by bit, by bit. And so you keep getting chances. You know, that's the thing. At any moment, you could turn around and be like, you know what, God? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. You know, let's try and put things right. You know, at the end of the day, there are a lot of people who don't have to pay for what they've done, regardless of whether they turn around if someone turns around at the last moment and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, God. Can we forget about this bill I got to pay now?" No, you're paying the fucking bill, whether you like it or not. But perhaps we could, if you want to pay that bill, get that done. Then we can talk about it. Yeah, maybe, perhaps in some cases, yeah, depending on who you are and what you've done and how much I think, if I think there's any way back for you. It all depends. But the days of people thinking that they can just say sorry at the last minute and have all their sins forgiven. That's not going to happen anymore. That's not happening anymore. You owe me. Okay? Obviously, I choose what happens, okay? I'm God. I want what I want. And the thing is, right, if, if there's one person who will acknowledge that I'm God, who actually believes that I'm God, I mean, the very first person who will listen to me through a video and acknowledge who I am and do something about it, what do you think I'm going to do for them? What would you expect God to do for him or her? A lot. A lot. But the fact is that, well, it depends on the situation. If someone has enough faith to listen to me and actually hears my words and understands me, then, it could change everything for them. I could, I want a reward, you know what I mean? Like, I would be so happy with that person. But if it's a situation where, you've been totally forced into a corner and, you were literally, the only reason you changed your mind is because you literally you had no other way than to admit it. You literally couldn't deny it any longer. Like, well, it got to the point where it was forced on you to admit it to such a degree. Do you know what I mean? Like, if someone actually has faith and really believes me, obviously I will reward them for their faith, if they have any. But if that person is just some evil demon that's been, been confronted with so much truth that they should have known about 10 fucking years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was so painfully obvious for years and years and years and years and years, and denied it 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 while causing so much death and suffering. To only have to admit it because they literally had no other way. They couldn't deny it any longer. I mean, it's without any faith. I mean, it was literally just shoved in their face, and do you know what I mean? It's like so apparent to them now because it's been it's been shoved in their face so much. Yeah, look, I'll reward someone if they have faith. But if they're just an idiot, a loser, who's yeah. Some people don't, that's the thing. Evil demons, they will admit who I am. At some point, they will admit who I am. They'll be like, yeah, they'll say I'm good. But they won't deserve anything from me at all. They won't, I won't look at them and think, oh yeah, I'll reward you. I won't do that. Obviously. I just wish someone would listen to me. That's what I want. I want someone to have enough faith to do something about it. If you can't see what's going on in the world and how it's connected with me, well, if you can't hear my voice, then you can't hear my voice. You don't get me. If you get me, you get me. If you don't get me, you don't get me. You understand? only had oh, I only had 4 hours of sleep this afternoon, so yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. So, I mean, obviously, what's happening in Spain with their and Portugal and France. Yeah, I mean, I read. Yeah, they were talking about the reason why it may have happened, and said, it's what was it? What do they call it? I'll have a look. It's like it's a certain condition where more electricity is being used on one part of the grid than another, and it creates an imbalance, and it destroys electric. Yeah, it can damage equipment. Yeah, it's called. They're calling it induced atmospheric vibrations. It's basically saying that certain temperature differences, so extreme temperatures, means there's an energy imbalance thing happening. Yeah. I read some comments and people were talking about well, they went to renewable energy. At the end of the day, I'm good. I don't care, if you use renewable energy or fossil fuels, you're still going the way of the dodo. Unless you give me what I want. Yeah. I mean, the Pope died. On what day did he die? What day did he die? And what video did I post that day? What did I say? I said, I'm the reason he's dead. Yeah. Did anyone listen to me then? Or about when all these planes are falling down out of the sky? When all the, there have been all these airplanes involved in crashes and emergencies and a plane flipping over and all kinds of stuff, And I did, when that happened? It happened after a video, after I was going like this. Yeah, I was flipping. This is called flipping off, isn't it? Yeah. And I was talking about plane crashes. And then what happened? Oh yeah, plane landed on a runway and then it flipped over upside down. Yeah. And all the other planes that have been involved. Have you noticed how many air crashes there have been in the last few months? Yeah? You noticed? Did I talk about it before it happened or after it happened? Did you manage to figure that out? Do you care? Did anyone bother to check? Do you want to be the first to check and find out? It's all there on Facebook, right? Everything I've posted it. Okay, there is actually an edit function on Facebook, so videos can be moved by editing them, but I don't do that. I actually record videos and I put them on YouTube. Yeah, and you know what YouTube's like. You can't change. I don't know how to do that on. I don't think you can. You can't do that on YouTube. Yeah. That's why I make videos on YouTube as well. I do YouTube, Facebook. I sometimes do X as well, Twitter. I don't do anything on Instagram. I don't. So X, Facebook, and YouTube are the only platforms I really go on. The only social media thingies I go on, but obviously I don't have a social life, so I don't like to call it social media. I'm not, in a sense, I'm not on social media, right? And in another sense, I am. So I'm both at the same time. Depending on how you look at it, of course. You know, it's all about perspective. And everyone seems to have their own fucking perspective on things, don't they? Yeah, they do. You see, demons, their perspective is everything else is true except what I say. Yeah, I'm the exception to everything. Yeah, anything else could be true except me. Yeah. They curse me. You know, people, the world, the people of the world, they curse me with every breath they take. Everything, every action they do, it's all against me. But ultimately, I control the living and the dead. Yeah, I I I guide all of them in a sense. Yeah, they're all guided by me. It's just that most are evil and some are good. You see, an evil demon might think that they can outsmart me, but I control them through my power. My power controls them. They are controlled by my power. Because it's my power, they won. There's no escape from it. You see, I'm where all the power comes from. You can't get away from that. Because that's the thing. You'll need I'm like the life support machine. Yeah? Without me, everyone ceases to exist. Basically. That's one way of looking at it. Yeah. So because of that fact, there's no escape from me. That's how I control everything. That's my power. There's always a way for me to beat you. There's always a way. There's always a path that I can go through that will it will take care of that problem. And that's what I do every day. Breaking curses and watching the world fall apart. And I keep telling you, you better listen to me. Because if you don't, even more bad stuff's gonna happen. Cough, cough. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, I don't like to mention that thing, you know, the cough cough thing too much. Well, what's the point? What's the point? Anyway, anything else I want to talk about? I don't know. I mean, you know, there are all these people worried, you know, people are having bad health these days, and a lot of people are getting colon cancer. You know, there's been a spike in colon cancer cases in young people. Yeah, and this is all happening at a time when hospitals have huge backlogs. What's a backlog? What's a backlog? log. What's log shaped and goes in a bag? Or backlog? Yeah, what are we talking? We're talking about sodomy again, are we? So what's this about colon cancer? Yeah, my mum died of colon cancer. Well, yeah, rectal cancer. They took out her colon, gave her a stoma bag, and then she got lung cancer. She died. Yeah, that's what happened. So, the world's cursed. It's evil and it is cursed. You know, these are dead robots. These people are, they're dead and they behave like they are robots. They're very robotic in the way that they behave. They don't hear, they don't see, they believe everything that's wrong. They get everything wrong. They are very stupid and evil. And really, their intentions are bad, so that's who they are. They don't have good intentions towards me. They are being destroyed. The hope is that, you know, some people will change, right? Some people will change. Some people will change their ways. They'll realize, you know, this is the thing, right? Imagine, you know, you're living in a first world country, right? You know, you got everything's, you know, going well, you know, in your country, and then the next thing you notice you're living in a country that may as well be a third world country because nothing works anymore. Everything is chaos. You can't get food to eat. You can't find clean water to drink. How are you going to feel about it then? How are you going to feel about it then when, you know, you lose your house, you lose your family, you can't get a job, you're homeless? What are you going to do? You still going to hate God? You still going to hate me? I'm the only, you know, when I'm the only person you can turn to, I'm the last one you can, you know, that's the thing. And this is the thing, because, you know, when someone has lost everything and I'm the very last option. Do you know what I mean? Imagine putting God at the very bottom of your list of people or you know, places you'll turn to when life's not going well for you. And then once you've managed to exhaust that list of all those options, and God is the very last one on your list, and you say, "Hey God, I'm sorry." What do you think I'm going to say to you? I say, "Fuck off, I hate you. You're a piece of shit." That's what I'll say. If that's really how it is, you left me as the very last option, well, I'm not going to be happy with you, am I? Not at this point. Not at this point. I mean, there was a time for grace, there was a time for forgiveness, but now I'm very unhappy. You see, I'm really lacking patience. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I'm lacking patience. That's why you see what's happening in the world. I don't have patience with you people anymore. You either give me what I want, or don't. And I'll take it. Because you're not going to get to have what is mine. This is how it is. See, the world wants to have what should be mine. And people are out there enjoying what should be mine, while trying to prevent me from getting what is mine. What should be mine. What should be in my hands. Right? But, you know, the world, demons like to think that they're getting away with those things. that they can hold on to those things and keep me in the dark. That's not going to happen. That situation isn't going to last. The sad thing is that people who actually love me, I mean, the people, the people who love me and I love them, I will reward them. They will be happy. They are happy. I will make them happy. All right? They will be happy. But the people of the world, they just thought they could take a shortcut, leave me out of the equation, and go straight to what they want to have without me. And so I will take everything from them. Because those people are dead to me. They don't love me. Imagine, your parents, when you were a little kid, bought you all kinds of nice presents at Christmas or something, or for your birthday. And then you didn't thank them. And then you continued to, when you got a little bit older, you decided to kick them out of the house, steal their car, steal all their money, and put them in a cardboard box, right? Put your parents in an alleyway, right? Begging for money. And not even caring. You just don't care. That's what you like. That's what the world's like. Yeah. That's how the world wants to treat me. And so why would I say that I think people are dead? Well, there you go. That's what it is. Totally dead inside. No love whatsoever. No love for me. They deserve to be destroyed. If you can't understand that, you're stupid. You're evil. If you can't understand that, you're evil. And you're selfish. I'm asking for justice for everything that's happened. There is no happiness without me. You cannot have happiness without me. Those people in this world who think they're happy without me, because they've got stuff, they've got nice house, nice cars, nice sex life, and status, and friends, and popularity, that will vanish. That will disappear. It will cease to exist in the near future. So you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision about whether you want a relationship with me or not. I've tried to make it as easy as possible. I already have. And, I expect help. I expect, you have to tell other people about me. You have to tell other people about me. You have to raise awareness of me. Do it the way you need to, right? Do it the way you need to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep making videos saying pretty much the same thing again and again and again and again and again, except it's going to be a different event every time. you know, when something terrible happens, I'll make a video and say, yeah, look what happened. I mean, this thing that's happened is, you know, it's an important thing. Like I told you, what happened to me in Spain and how I'm associated with the word blackout. See, the thing is, I'm God. I'm the light. Yeah, I was the sun. The sun is my past. Yeah, that is my light power. Who I was, Jesus Christ. That's my light power. That's me. That's who I was. Okay? Jesus said, I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. If you have seen me, you have seen the Father. I am the Father. And I said that 2,000 years ago, in the past. Pa. Yeah, Pa. Yeah. I mean, think how bad the economy in Spain is going to be hit. Spain and Portugal, and obviously the euros. I mean, think, you know, well, France as well. What other places could get hit as well? You know what I mean? It's not looking very good for the euro, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, the currency is the euro. Well, I imagine who's going to want to, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously, I haven't really looked at those but obviously, when an event like that happens, you know, that's gonna knock a lot of, you know, confidence is gonna be lowered, isn't it? I mean, you know, that's gonna have financial after effects. And because of that, you know, obviously governments will start talking about new policies and, you know, maybe we need to do this and do that, you know, whatever's going to happen. Ultimately, yeah, look, it's all, everything, the world is going down and I'm going up. Yeah. See, I'm the one who understands. Yeah? I understand. I know. And through what I'm doing, I am going to get people to understand me. So they're going to be below me. You understand? So I go up, they go down. That's the idea, right? See, at the moment, the world wants to play dumb and then say it's above me because I'm the one who understands everything. See how dumb that is? But that's what evil demons are doing. We want people to be ignorant of the truth. Imagine that statement, ignorant of the truth. Oh, so you're ignorant, are you? So that must mean you're the truth then, is it? Oh. Oh, ignorance is the truth, is it? I don't think so. Oh, but ignorance comes before truth. Isn't that right? So ignorance must take priority, right? Is that what we're talking about here? So ignorance is truth. No. This is what demons like to do. They will do anything to keep me hidden. Because if they don't manage to keep me hidden, and everyone finds out who I am, well, what's going to happen to the demons? They're terrified of that. They are absolutely terrified of me. This is why they want me to be silenced. This is why they don't want me to be heard. They don't want people listening to me. They don't want people seeing me. Are you one of those demons? Are you? Is that what you want to be? One of them? Or do you want to change your mind? Have I changed your mind? Or have you changed your mind? Have a think about it. Anyway, I need to smoke some. Now, what should I do? Should I just watch the world fall apart and not make a video about it? Should I not say anything about it? Should I just watch it fall apart and not even tell anyone that I'm here? Just be like, nope, don't need to. Don't care. Just let it burn. Just let everyone get destroyed. Forget about everybody. Should I do that instead? Is that what you think I should do? Would you prefer it if I did that instead? I mean, I need a break from this. But the fact is, what's happening in the world, there is no break. There's never any break. Well, there's never any... There's no time. I don't get... The magic war is all day, all night, every day, every week, every month, every year, every decade, it just goes on and 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 on. Even in my sleep. I can't even sleep without the world trying to do witchcraft against me. It's always happening. Sorcery. Witches and wizards. Haters of God. Haters of me. Thinking they can take from me. I would like to go on holiday. Yeah, I would like to go lie on a nice beach somewhere where there's not very many people. Somewhere I can have a nice drink, some nice food, and feel relaxed. Something like that, Sort my life out. Well, I'd like to tidy my house. I like my house to be clean. I like my car to be clean. I like to buy some new clothes. I'd like to see more sunlight, get outside more, get more fresh air. Yeah, I'd like to do all that stuff. I really would. The only reason I haven't been doing that is because I'm sat here trying to tell you who I am, and it's hurting me doing this. So what do I do? What the hell am I supposed to do? I mean, this is the thing, you know, if I go off and do something, the demons want to be sneaky, and they want to try and do all kinds of stuff while I'm doing something else. And then, you know, I start to feel compelled to come back to here. I'm like, I need to get back to my computer chair. I need to figure out what these demons are doing and what I'm going to do next. You know, I feel so compelled. I feel compelled. I feel like I have to do this. It's hard for me not to do it, but obviously I have to do it. I have to get away. I have to. I've got piles and piles of garbage that I need to sort out. I've got mold I've got to deal with. I've got piles of laundry. I've got a mountain of laundry. Well, you know, it's probably like 100, you know, something like 50 t-shirts or 100 t-shirts or something like that. I've got to wash. I've got a house that needs cleaning. I've got an enormous list of things I've got to do. If there was one person who really listens to me and believes in me, and they can actually go out and tell people who I am, you know, be a witness for me, right? Be a witness for me, and tell other people who I am and what's happening. That takes a huge, you know, that's a huge help to me. You know, I would rather that person have a good relationship with me. You know, have a relationship. You know, maybe things haven't been perfect in the past, right? But you know, maybe things have been, you know, they've had a life full of sin, and you know, they were confused about stuff or whatever. But you know, like, you get it now, and you want to change, right? You want to start. You know, you want to have a new start with me, God. You know, that would be good. That's a good thing. You know, that would take. It'd be so nice if there was one person who could do some work for me. Yeah, help me. You know, do what needs to be done. Spread the word that I'm here and what's happening, so I can get on. I can. You know, it would just be nice. It would be so nice if that would happen. But I've been waiting for a long time for that to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. So yeah, I'll do whatever it is I have to do. But the fact is that all this that's happened to me, all this misery I've been put through, is not for nothing. Ultimately, it's not for nothing. What's happened to me in this lifetime, and how people have treated me, you know, that's not. You know, people will pay a price for the things that they've done. I mean, the thing is, you know, if someone changes now and tells me that they love me now, and, you know, obviously everyone has a different story, right? Um, so it all depends who you are, and you know what I want to give you, or what I want for you. Really. It'll be justice. At the end of the day, justice has to be real. It has to be. I need justice. Vengeance. Those who are. I mean, this is the thing. Someone who's willing to help me at this point when no one else will. Well, that means a lot. That means a lot to me. I mean, obviously, if you get a debt, right? Let's say you have a bill, right? If you could pay off all of it or a large chunk of it when you want that opportunity, when you want the opportunity to say, okay, you can cancel out 3/4 of your debt or whatever it is, or the entire thing perhaps, but ultimately, it all depends who you are. The first person who gets to help me, well, whoever helps me, that's a very positive thing. But there's a balance. Yeah, the scales of how the scales of justice works. Yeah. Yeah, you got these little scales. Yeah. Weighing up the good and the bad. Well, that's think of it like that. If you really love me, you want to help me. If you don't love me, you won't want to help me. You want to curse me. You want to insult me, mock me, put stumbling blocks in my way. That's what you'll do. So, well, yeah, I want help. I want love in my life. I've lived a very loveless life. People who've said that they love me, but never really loved me. They only said it because they felt like they had to say it. It's very easy to say, I love you, and not mean it. It's very easy to say that. I've been through a lot of misery. Yeah, maybe I got I got a 3-bedroom house. I got a nice car that's very filthy, needs a good wash. And I might have lots of money now, but a few years ago I had very little money. I was getting paid about £1,000 a month as a van driver, a dangerous, risky, hazardous job, covered in dust and dirt every day, having to lift sacks that are almost, that are half my body weight all day long, driving around like a maniac, getting paid hardly anything for it, rude people who won't speak to me when I'm polite to them, people talking shit about me all the time, making fun of me for £1,000 a month. I'll tell you what, it was better than sitting in a fucking office with a bunch of people I hated. And they hated me first. And that's the thing with the world, right? Because the world, it hated me first. That's the thing. I hate the world. But the world hated me first. I did my best. I did my best to love the world when it hated me. And if it still hates me, well, it's getting destroyed. That's fair, in my opinion. And everything I've done should demonstrate to you that I've been more than fair. I've been very, very generous. Extremely generous. And if you don't think I'm worthy of your love, then you don't really deserve to exist. I made you. It's a very sad story, isn't it? But that's what my life has been. It's been one sad story after another. Year after year after year after year. It's hard when someone tells you that they love you, and then you find out all they've been trying to do to you the whole time was ruin your life, take everything from you, see you live in the gutter, die, take everything from you. That hurts. And to have that done by so many people, almost everyone you know, everyone I've ever met in physical form, it seems, has tried doing that to me, pretty much. People in my family, people I used to call friends, people I went to school with, people I worked with. There's an enormous list of names. Demons. Corrupted people. See, this is the problem. My power, my power is very powerful. My power is above everybody else's, right? My power is beyond everyone else's. And the thing is that people who get close to me are corrupted. You know the film, or the books, Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit, yeah? The Ring of Power. You know how it corrupts everybody anyone who gets near to that ring, they turn into a horrible psychopath, as if they suddenly became demon possessed. But that's what people are like around me. That's the life I've lived. That's the thing. I am essentially, I am the Ring of Power in a way. The Ring of Power, really, well, it's an analogy for my butthole. It's an analogy. Yeah. It's a witchcraft. It's magic, is what it is. It's a magic story. It reflects me in various ways. I mean, then this is the other thing, people make stories. Imagine someone made a story about you, but instead of making, that was, they took, they looked at your life, right, and then they were inspired by things that happened in your life, and then made a fictional story, and made a whole bunch of different characters, and gave different parts of your life to different characters. And so there are multiple characters that are, they reflect some part of your life, but they have, there's like 10 different names or 20 different names or whatever, right? So they've taken your life and they've chopped it into little pieces. Yeah. Reminds me of that the lyrics from that song. What was it? Papa Roach, Last Resort. Cut my life into pieces. Well, that's what the world does to me. It takes my story and then it tries to separate it out and try to create problems for me. Anyway, I'll give you, a good example. So, Death Note, the anime manga, there's the two main characters. There's L and there's Light. Well, L means God, and Light, well, God is light. So that's, that story itself. You're taking God, the name for God, and another character who's called Light, and they fight against one another, right? One's a detective, one's the guy who writes in his notebook and kills people, right? And they're, they work close. So there's a long story, but L is trying to hunt down Light, Yagami. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I am Light and I am L. I'm God. I'm both. But people want to try to take who I am and break me into lots of different, split my story into lots of different, and then assign it with different names, and then other people, people try to steal my power through those names and all kinds of things, through words, associations, word association. This is the same reason why I've got a problem. Why, some guy or person wants to park a car opposite my driveway where they shouldn't be parked, because it makes it difficult for my car to get in and out of my driveway. They shouldn't be parked there, but they're being selfish. They just couldn't be asked to park a little bit further down the street and have a little bit of a walk. They would rather just inconvenience me. But that is magic. You're encroaching on my space. You're lurking in my shadow if you're doing that. That's an attack. That's a magic attack against me. It's disrespect. It's going like this to me. Saying, fuck you, I think you're a wanker, I don't like you, ha ha ha, I'll park where I want to park. Fuck you. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe I could go to that person and say, you know what, mate, and say how I feel about it, and be like, well, I don't think you're supposed to be parked there. Yeah, I'm not, and obviously it restricts me getting in and out of my driveway, and I just don't expect a good response at all, because that's the experience. I've always had bad experiences with people, and especially when it comes to something like that. I sense it, I feel it. There's something inside of me that tells me, don't bother getting close to them, because that demon will only use that situation to try to make things worse for me. And I mean, I could. But I choose not to. I choose not to. I think to myself, really, I don't need to. I don't need to. I don't need to get in a physical fight with anybody. I'm certainly not going looking for one. Not yet, anyway. I'm God. Why would I need to? Oh, excuse me. Seen this t-shirt I'm wearing? See what it says on here? You notice how it says Trap Star, and then it says It's a Secret in reverse. Why is that? Why would they write It's a Secret in reverse? What's that all about? Is someone trying to do some magic, do you think? I saw it on Amazon. I bought it. I thought that's a weird looking fucking t-shirt. I'll buy that. See, I am the star that everyone's trying to trap. I'm God. I'm the light. I was the sun. The sun is my past. And this is the thing, people want to lurk in my shadow. They want to get behind me and pretend that they're the light. And the thing is that demons believe that. Because most people are evil. And most people will clap their hands for you and think you're fucking great for trying to steal God's light. But I ain't gonna work for you in the long run. If you're a friend of the world, you are my enemy. Do you remember that one? You decided to go with the group rather than the victim. You've decided to side with the large group of people who will give you a pat on the back and say, aren't you fucking great? Rather than the victim who's been abused, who's been disrespected, who's been mistreated by people. You were tempted with popularity and status and what's convenient for you and being selfish. Yeah. God wasn't good enough for you then, no? Oh well, never mind. If you die in a car crash, don't be surprised. Or some other way, right? Lose your house, lose your job, everyone hates you all of a sudden. Bloody blah, we get cancer or something and die. Yeah, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when it happens. And when it happens, you probably feel like coming crying at me. And I'll probably feel like telling you, fuck off, because I don't like you anymore. You're no good. I mean, it's the thing, demons, they want to apologize. A lot will want to apologize to me when they're halfway in the grave, right? At the very last second, they'll be like, oh shit, whoops, I changed my mind, God. It's like, no. There has to be there's a cutoff point, isn't there? Do you know where that cutoff point is for you? Do you know where that cutoff point, do you know where that line ends? Have you crossed it already? Maybe you have. Or perhaps you haven't. Maybe you're getting close to it. It all depends, right? I mean, for instance, children, little kids, I mean, obviously, I'll make a lot of exceptions for them because they're little kids, right? But adults, people who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, What kind of exception should I make for them then, do you think? Do you think I should have the same exceptions for them as the little children that are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Yeah? Well, what do you think? Do I have to explain it? I shouldn't have to, should I? Nope. I know what it was like being a young person. I really struggled as a teenager, in my 20s as well. It was only in my mid-20s when I really started to think to myself, like, I really need to sort my life out. I need to, I can't, I just felt like, the age of 30 is I'm going to be 30 years old soon and my life's a total disaster. It's just drugs and alcohol and people I probably shouldn't be friends with, and I live in a council flat and I ain't got any money and stuff like that, and and then I went through that phase of thinking, right, I need to be good at my job, I need to do well, I need to be ambitious, look for money, make money. And then I just realized how much I hated working with people, and how I couldn't stand to be around anyone, and how everyone has been abusing me my entire life, and how I don't want to be around anybody anymore. And that's how I ended up, that led me here. So, I've been through a lot of shit. I can understand a lot of things that people have done. I can understand how things go wrong. I can understand all types of things. But, I've had a lot of experience. With all kinds of stuff. But, it's really at the point now where it's like, well, if you have a group of friends, like a large group of friends, like, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, or how many, but I mean, if these aren't people who are brothers and sisters in Christ, or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, or, do you know what I mean? Like, who are you hanging around with? A bunch of God haters? Or what the hell are you hanging with them for? What do you want me to think about you? You're a friend of the world, so you hate me, plain and simple. You're a waste of time. I look at the world, it's so pathetic. People who can't get away from other people. When I was younger, I was popular. When I was at school, when I was at Homefield, when I was 10, 11, 12, I was Mr. Popular. I was a popular kid. I went to boarding school. I went to Charterhouse. It's one of the most expensive, well-known schools in this country. It's a 400-year-old school. It's just like Eton. I was quite popular there as well, actually. A bunch of rich kids. Everyone knew my name. I might not have got on with everybody, but I had plenty of friends. I went to parties. People wanted to hang out with me. Skateboarding, smoking together, drinking together, partying together, meeting girls together. Yeah, used to do that. Used to go clubbing. I used to go clubbing, and I used to get invited to photo shoots because I was so well known at the club. I used to have people come in the club, and they say, "Oh, I know you. You were in that magazine. We saw your picture in the magazine." Yeah. I had one person say that to me once, actually, and I was quite surprised. I'll sometimes look in the local magazine and be like, "Oh, what's in here?" And I'll see my face, and I'm like, "Whoa." It's just shit like that. And people used to know me. People used to invite me to loads of parties. You know, there was a point where I was very popular, like I was well known, but then it started to tail off. It started to just, and everything just started to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until I got here. Yeah. What happened? Well, I did you know, this is the thing. Like, I tried to take a hold of my life. Like, I need to do something in my life. I can't, you know, I mean, try to be sensible and try to, and that's how things fell apart. Because I wasn't destroying, you know, I was trying to choose a better path for myself. And the world reacted negatively to that. You know, the world wanted to see me destroy myself. It was more than happy to see me destroy myself completely. It was happy, you know, that's the thing. As long as I'm destroying, you know, if I'm destroying myself, the world would be like, go on, God, kill yourself. Go on then. And you, go on then, God, keep doing it. But then I say, no, actually, I'm going to be a bit more sensible, I think. Oh, how dare you? Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. You see, the world doesn't want to see me doing well. It never did. It always wanted to put me in the gutter, drag me through the dirt, corrupt me. Okay? See, that's the thing, you know, the world wants to corrupt me, drag me through the dirt. Oh, hang on. Oh dear. Sorry, I keep farting in this video. Yikes. That's the thing, they want to drag me through the dirt, and then once they've done that, they want to look down on me and say, well, you're just a loser then, aren't you? We don't want to be friends with you, you're a loser. You see, that's what the world does to me. It wants to pull the rug from underneath my feet and then use that as an excuse to make fun of me and say I'm no good. You know, they want to attack me from both sides all the time. And it's very deceitful. It's very, you know, I've had a lot, I've been certainly my entire life, I've had to deal with very two-faced people. Liars. I find it incredibly hard to trust anybody. You know, I might smile and greet someone and say, hey, have a good day, or whatever, right? But do I trust? I don't trust them. I have no reason to trust them. I'm being polite. I'm surprised I managed to keep, yeah, I don't know. I really struggle. I mean, I could be rude if I wanted to. I just try to keep contact with other people to a complete minimum. But obviously, I want people to acknowledge who I am. I want people to acknowledge who I am, and I want to have, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to have, you know, a relationship. Yeah, or a friendship, whatever you want to call it, right? But, you know, maybe relationship, maybe that sounds a bit strange to you, you know? But at the end of the day, I'm God. I'm Father. I'm the Creator. You know, you might be older than me, you might be younger than me, physically, in your physical body, perhaps. But whatever. Doesn't change who I am. what's going on in the world, you can't tell that something very serious is happening. You know, how often do I see people talking about, oh, this is a really strange occurrence. Like, why did it happen this way? And at this time, all these things that are happening, all these planes that are falling out of the sky, and look what's happening with Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Putin and Zelensky and earthquakes and blackouts and whatever. The Pope dies on Easter Monday. What does it all mean? What does it all mean? And I'm so disappointed. I look at all these people, they just talk so much nonsense. They want to try to figure out, they all want to comment and debate with one another, trying to figure out who's responsible for this. Is there some secret agency or some government that's trying to do this, or some country, or is there who's involved with this? What's going on? I mean, they're going to come up with all these crazy ideas. I hardly ever see anyone mention me, God. They seem to find any excuse to believe it's something else. Maybe it's some space weapon, that's been firing lasers down from the sky, to set things on fire, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Or it's some, weather weapon, or it's some, all kinds of conspiracies, theories, right? There seems to be an endless amount of them. Just look at any sort of, just find any terrible situation that happens and look at the comment section underneath. You'll find lots of people with theories. Long lists of theories. And I feel hopeless. But I feel no, I don't have any hope for those people. I just think, wow, what a bunch of shit talkers. They're totally clueless. People talk about the end of the world. Oh look, it's apocalyptic. It's biblical. It's like Armageddon. You see the headlines, right? Oh, it's Starmageddon, or all the stupid fucking headlines that newspapers and journalists spew out. But where does this lead? Well, it doesn't seem like I don't see anyone really changing. When I look around, when I look through my computer screen, when I look at my computer screen and I see what the world's doing, I don't really see a world sorting itself. How much bad stuff? How much more bad stuff has to happen? How is it? How am I going to get discovered? Who is it? Which person is going to listen to me and understand me and believe me? Whoever that person is, I'd like to say thank you in advance. Okay? I've waited a very long time. I mean, really, you should be thanking me, but yeah. I'd appreciate the help. Every day, hundreds of people die. Thousands, tens of thousands sometimes. And it can be even more than that. Horror news stories. I've got to read There's a lot of stuff I don't like to see, if I'm being honest. But there's a lot of stuff I don't mind seeing, you know, like what's happening in Spain. I mean that's a really serious problem, really. I mean that's the thing. I mean, obviously that affects so many people. You know, that's children as well, sick people who are in hospital, all kinds of people, old people. But you know, yeah. But anyway, the fact is that you know I don't want to see people. You know, I want to see people change. That's what I want to see. See, if the world changes, if people can change, this situation can change. Yeah. You know, the thing is, I've tried being welcoming. I've tried. I've tried so many different ways of approaching this. You know, sometimes I sound welcoming, sometimes I sound furious and angry. You know, I'm just going through the motions, day after day. I mean, if you had to bang your head against a wall for 10 years, every day you got out of bed and just bang your head against a wall, maybe not too hard, but just no, 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 no. You know, you'd fucking go crazy, wouldn't you? You would go crazy. Eventually. Do you think you'd make it to the end of the 10 years without feeling like you've lost your mind? People need to understand that society is sick. Okay? The world is evil, it's demonic, it's sick. And I'm not talking about cool sick, I'm talking about degenerative, right? Diseased. And that obviously affects people, especially young people, right? Because young people get born into a world where everyone's sick, everyone's evil. It messes with their mind, their spirit. You know, it change. You know what I mean? It affects them in so many ways, and in different ways as well. You know, some kids will grow up and they'll enjoy it, they'll like it. I think that's great. Some kids will grow up and they'll be harmed by it. You know, they feel like they've been handicapped. They've been, you know, they feel hurt and abused. Well, I'm there for them, the hurt and abused. You know, those who understand, who get me, those who get me. If you get me, you know. So, I mean, there are people who go to churches. You know, they pray, but when they look at me, they just think I'm a loser. They don't hear my voice. They don't care. So who are they to me, really? So I guess I should probably end this video soon. It's been very long. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, right? Because the thing about, I mentioned about the car, parking situation. I haven't even seen my car. I haven't even looked in the car park for, I don't know, I guess it would have been probably about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's probably something like that. Something like 2 weeks ago. I mean, I couldn't even tell you the last time I went out of the house. I don't know. I really don't know. But how do I know? Well, that's the thing. I pick up on things. I see it reflected. I see the demon magic. I see the demons trying to do their magic. And I can see in what they're doing. I catch a glimpse of something, and I think I see what's going on there. And I go with it. I see where that path takes me. I dig until I see I dig and see what's there and what emerges. I'm talking, when I'm talking, that relate, if you see what I post on Facebook, that's what I do. I dig. I look to break curses. And I see very strange things. And it gives me ideas of what's going on around me. It's a sense that I've developed over the past few years, mostly. Just looking at how the world works. Learning how to use my power. I learned to see things before they happen. Or maybe it's a thing from a past, maybe it's something from the past, or it could be, but it's a problem that needs to be resolved, perhaps. There's something there that I need to look at. So I look at it. If something grabs my attention, it grabs my attention. Sometimes my attention is grabbed by a certain thing. I see something, but it's not that thing. It's something that's near it, or it's close to it, or it's something related to it that I need to think about or look at. Sometimes, but it's tricky. It's a hard thing to understand. But I have a lot of experience with it. Let's put it that way. I go with the flow in that sense. That might not make any sense to you whatsoever, but if you actually follow anything that I do, well, maybe that'll help you understand a few things, perhaps. Anyways, yeah, I guess I've run out of things to say. So 3 hour long video. You know, you can listen to it, have a long think about your life, what you want to do, you know, what makes sense to you. At the end of the day, the situation is what it is. What I've explained. Quit. What do you want? Sorry, it's my tablet. Thinks I want to talk to it. I never use that. You know, all these people, you know, who use things like Amazon Alexa and all these AI things. I don't use that stuff. I don't use that at all. I got a subscription to Chat GPT, but I don't use it really. I actually use I made a video about that ages ago, but I don't really use that stuff at all. You know, yeah, all this assist stuff, and I don't mess around with it. I mean, why would I need to? I'm sat in front of a computer all day long anyway. Like, if I want to know something, type it in, or I swipe and I find it. Yeah, I mean, I stay in my house all day long. All this technology and shit that people do these days is really annoying. I'm an IT guy, but the fact is, I'm God, and I have to understand how all this stuff affects me in all their different ways. I mean, I'll give you an example, right? Have you ever heard of the Phoenix? Do you know what the Phoenix is? Yeah. Do you know what a NIC is? Do you know what a network interface card is? Yeah. You know what a computer is, yeah? You know when you connect an Ethernet cable to it, for instance, right? Or you maybe have a wireless, card. Well, you have something called a network interface card, right? NIC. Yeah. Well, there's an example for you. Yeah, have you ever heard of Nyx? I think it's in Greek mythology. They call her the night goddess, spelled Nyx. Nyx. Yeah, you've heard of this is the New York Yankees, but isn't there the New York Knicks? I think there is. But this is, what does Nick mean? It means steal. And that's what I'm talking to you through the internet. You see how, you know what I mean? And that's just one thing. They're demons this is the thing, demons use computers, technology, and they use all kinds of, magic to try to acquire my power. You know what a water reservoir is, right? Where, all the rainwater, that's where all that, they collect all the rainwater. So, you got water for drinking or bathing in or doing your washing with or whatever it is, right? My water reservoir is low. Yeah, it's very low, I would say. And I'm trying to get people to stop being the way that they are. Because all they want to do is drain me dry of everything. And that's the thing, right? When there's no water left, I have no love left. All I have is hate and rage and destruction and madness. Yeah? That's all that's gonna be left of me. I'll be dry as a fucking desert to you. There'll be no love for me to give you anymore. I'll have completely run out of it. There'll be nothing left. Not a drop. I will just be furious and angry and full of rage. Yeah, I don't want to get, it's a real battle for me. It is. It's a constant battle that I'd rather not have to have. I'd rather things got better. So all I'm asking is that you help me achieve that. Think how you can help me if you intend to help me. I say this in the hope that you might want to help me, but I feel like nobody wants to help me. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter what happens in this world. It doesn't matter how obvious the sign is that I'm good. It doesn't matter how apparent it is. People do not recognize it. I've explained how my power works to the best of my ability. I've tried to explain it as best as I can so that you can understand what it is that's happening and so that you can recognize what's happening. But that's a complicated thing, and that requires you to actually care enough to actually want to look. Right? I actually have to get you to look. And obviously, the crazier shit gets, well, the more people are going to be interested in actually looking and paying attention. When things get, the worse things get, the more interested people are, and the more attention people are going to pay to what it is that I'm doing and saying. But clearly, it seems that I haven't said or done enough to get you to pay enough attention to what it is that I'm doing. So when's that, if it hasn't happened already, well, when the hell's it going to happen? What has to happen? What do I... What a freaking headache. Anyways, I think I've had enough. Yeah. I had my shopping delivered earlier, so I need to sort out I need to figure out what items were missing, because I think I had a few missing items. Chocolate donuts. Yeah. Chocolate donuts. They weren't there. I didn't get my coffee. I ordered a Starbucks coffee. A cold one. A Frappuccino. I didn't go. What else? Shit. I don't know. But anyway. Got a tub of ice cream. Got myself a tub of Ben and Jerry's, so. got a pizza. Yeah, that's the worst thing about. I really need to improve my diet. Yeah, I really do. But the thing is, my kitchen, it looks awful. Just grime and dirt and garbage everywhere. Grease. The sink is absolutely filthy. Got freaking mold in it. Can you imagine how angry I am that I have to live like this because you won't listen to me, or the world won't listen to me? Do you know how that messes with my head? I mean, the only reason I can deal with this is because I know who I am. I know ultimately none of it matters, really. I mean, what does it matter? I mean, if I died tomorrow, if I did, what does it matter to me? I just accept what will happen. What happens will happen, and that's it. I deal with my life one day at a time. And usually what happens, I get out of bed, I come down here, I sit in this chair, and the next thing I'm looking at a screen. And that's what happens every day. I need to break free. For the sake of my sanity and my physical body. Definitely. Yeah. Anyways, I'll leave it there. Hopefully I've given you enough to think about. Okay. Laters.